Good morning, beauties. How is it where you are? How are you where you are in your body? I'm speaking with you from a rainy, misty morning here. The seasons are changing, the tides are turning, all of these things, right? The earth is constantly spinning. And how do we keep ourselves clear and available to life every day in a new way? Sometimes it can feel like a slog. Yes, sometimes it can feel heavy. And especially, and we can say this because this is the time we are in right now especially. Right? And there's a tremendous amount of chaos ensuing, right? Entropy, as things break down, break away, fall apart, and this desperate, energetic attempt by particular forces that, as far as I'm concerned, are not in their right minds, right? And they have lost track of the heart, are desperately attempting to keep these broken old systems, these broken ways of looking at things, these broken ways of relating to one another as humans. We know they're broken. They've been broken for a very long time. This isn't new, right? How do you interact, have connection with, have intimacy with this life that you are inside of that feels like chaos? And for me, the word that came up this morning is courage, right? Cour, heart, right? That word cour from the French, the word courage, leading from the heart. Now that sounds nice, right? That's a nice sentence. Lead from your heart. And we can intellectually contain that idea and feel like it's a nice thing to say that, and perhaps to even aspire to leading from our heart. But what does that really mean? Right? What does it mean to lead from your heart inside of a chaotic time that feels ugly in a lot of ways, right? We're looking for the beauty, right? Looking for the beauty, seeking the beauty is one way to lead from your heart. From my perspective, the next and really the deepest primal way to lead from your heart is to be the beauty. Be the beauty, emanate the beauty, create beauty with your vibration. How do we do that? Again, dropping in to your heart. How? Right? The simple, patterned practice of pause, lean back. Breathe yourself back in and embody. Practicing that for right now, just once. In the state that we're in these times, this practice is a moment-to-moment thing, right? The desire to react, the desire to be extraordinarily angry, the desire to hate, the desire to lash out, the desire to give up hope, right? To go into just nothing is, right? There's a lot of pull for that. There's also the desire to distract. I won't engage. I'll just cover it up with all of these distractions that are, many of them, unfortunately, part of the system that is falling apart that many of us want to take apart. Now, when I say that I might want to take it all apart, there is no part of me that thinks that that is easy, or that if the whole entire thing fell to the ground, that suddenly everything would be Shangri-La. No. We have to know what it is we are building. What is it that we want? What do you long for? But I ask this of clients often in the initial interview. What is your deepest longing? And after usually quite a pause, what often comes up is just the word peace. I just want peace. I just want to feel peaceful. I want to feel peace. Right? How do we allow ourselves to just be peaceful in the midst of chaos and breakdown and distraction and noise and ugly behavior? Practicing this journey, simple journey, sometimes it feels far from simple to drop back down into your body in order to find your heart again, right? In order to decide, what does it even feel like in my heart, right? It might take some imagining. And imagination is your key. It is the golden key to creating a new life. When we can imagine and vision something different for ourselves. Somebody might say, well, you're just making it up. Yeah, we're making everything up. Truly, right? Your creative spirit has made up the life you're in, and it can continue to create and make up and imagine even more. It can imagine what it feels like to be leading from the heart. That's a wonderful thing to imagine. That's a beautiful thing to give your energy to, is to playing around with, what does my heart need? Right, hands to the heart, hands to the place where your heart lives in your body, localizing yourself in your beautiful vessel, the thing that describes to you what this experience is, right? It gives you feedback all the time. So why not have fun and start to imagine yourself being radically embodied, engaging from a powerful center inside of chaos. Why? Well, number one, it feels better. It feels good to live inside of your body and to have a kindness toward and a curiosity toward your body, to find your heart, to find your cour, to find your courage that rises up from a full heart in order to engage with this world, with this life on earth, and not distract or deflect or hate, right, or other. We don't need more of that. I'm sure you're in agreement. We don't need more hate. We don't need more anger. We don't need more division. We don't need more us and them. We don't need any more unnuanced, simplistic responses or reactions. What do you need right now? If you feel the need for courage in your life, maybe just, not maybe just, but in your own individual life on earth right now, perhaps there are challenges that are rising in your own personal life, and you find yourself feeling afloat, unmoored, perhaps. To continually pause, lean back, slow your breath way down, embody, find your way to your heart with your hands, and just see about being curious about what it would be to lead and to walk through this time, this challenging time, from your heart center. I like to include going lower than that, down below the belly button, right down to sort of the root center, in order to have an established root, right, all the way rooting down into the earth, and letting that energy rise up to support your heart. Maybe your heart has felt tender. Maybe your heart has felt damaged, armored, and maybe there is good reason for that. Maybe there have been experiences that have created that response in you. So it takes courage, it takes courage to rise and to allow yourself to lead from your heart when your heart has been hurt, and to expand out into the world today, or the behavior of humans, I'm going to say, which I guess we can call the world, not the earth herself, but the behavior of humans who are not in their right minds, who are not in their hearts, is painful, right? It hurts our hearts. But locking our hearts away, becoming armored, right? Going into angry warrior mode. Warriors are required right now. Warriors of the heart, right? Who say absolutely not. Right? We will not allow you to treat our family members that way. Yeah? But to also heal and love your own tender heart that has its own personal longings and woundings, by developing courage to allow your heart to lead again, over and over again. Because your heart has immense intelligence, as we know. We've always known that. There's a reason we've always centered ourselves as beings, as humans, talking about our hearts, right? How we feel in our hearts. Yeah, the focus on the heart as the center of the human experience. Of course it is, right? Circulating blood and oxygen and, keeping things going along with every other part of our incredible, majestic, miraculous bodies, or one body, right? The body of the divine, the body of creative spirit, activated through all these different individual expressions. Committing to living a heart-based, heart-centered life does take courage, right? The ability to rise up and say to yourself, right? This is an inside job. You're speaking to yourself every day when you say, I choose to live a heart-centered life. I choose to lead from my heart. I choose to be courageous in the face of chaos and entropy. And that is a choice we get to make every single day in so many different ways. How we interact with somebody you don't know, somebody you've never met. How we interact with ourselves, not allowing words to come in our minds telling us that we are not good enough, that you're bad, that you're doing it wrong, right? That you're not worthy, right? Having courage to rise up as a warrior of the heart and say, absolutely not. I don't allow those words to enter into my sacred temple, into my sacred life, right? And that takes conviction, that takes discipleship, discipline, to keep saying, no, I know that maybe you rose up from some place in me long ago that thought that was going to protect me from pain. That is not protecting me, right? You're limiting me. Thoughts, right? You're talking to your own thoughts. This is inside job. This is mirror work, right? So today, and every other today, we can choose to lead from our hearts. We can remember that we are collectively connected, energetically connected, right? Our hearts leading, our root strong in the earth, walking forward, right, as warriors of love. That's a choice. That's a choice. That's a life path choice. Yeah, and sometimes it feels extraordinarily overwhelming. And sometimes we do just need to cuddle down and put the covers up over us and cozy up and say, I'm leading from my heart like this. This is my heart, right? Telling me. No, I don't need to engage. This warrior needs to cozy and just be tender and listen to music, read a beautiful book, right? Listen to a book being read to you. That's one of my favorite things to do lately. It recalls my early mothering time with my daughter, right? She would love to listen to me reading aloud to her, or we would listen to a beautiful classic being read, right? Back when we were listening to CDs. Yeah, and what a delight it was for both of us, right? What a joy, what a beauty. So simple pleasures, simple ways to feed your heart, feeding your heart, nourishing your heart with sweetness so that you have more strength to go out in the world and work sometimes inside of the chaos. Yeah, being a centerpiece for yourself first, stabilizing yourself first with your practice, pause, lean back, breathe, embody, and then knowing that that feeds and serves anybody else you encounter. Yeah? That's a why, right? That's my why. And perhaps that can be part of your why, right? To live with courage, to live from a courageous heart, to live a heart-centered life. Okay. Have a beautiful day, evening, whatever time you're in. And I'm sending big love, big waves of love, and receiving big waves of love. Talk soon.